Yo, what is up, boys? It is your boy Xehther here, back at it again with a brand new video. Now, today we are going to be dropping part 3 for what if Naruto had assault mode. But before I get into the actual episode, I just want to say something very quickly. A little bit of self-plugging if I do say so myself. So, in case any of you guys like Rogue X, Izukage, or Phoenix Soni's content, you guys are absolutely going to love our new group channel. Our new channel is going to be made for what if content, and our first video is going to be dropping on July 1st. So if you guys want to see any more of us, make sure you go down below in the description, click on the first link, and it's going to take you to the link to our new channel. We are going to be dropping banger after banger, so I'm sure you guys don't want to miss it, and if your boy Xehther's there, you want to be there. So that being said, I don't really want to waste you guys' time, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so before we actually get into this next part, I am going to be having to give a brief description of what happened on the last part. So as you guys remember, Naruto was let back into the village and he was put under Team 7, to which he basically got to know Team 7, and he pretty much just, he was just there with them pretty much. He retook the bell test and he went through the tuning exams with his team. He also ended up defeating Kiba, meeting Jiraiya, and learning things like the Rasengan and the summoning jutsu, except when he summoned something, it wasn't just some toad. It was literally Galand of the 10 Commandments. And yeah, we left off on a little bit of a cliffhanger with Naruto doing a little bit of research with Jiraiya. So that being said, let's get back into the video. Okay, so to pick things up right where we left off, after summoning Galand, Naruto would basically get to know him, as well as trying to summon the rest of the 10 Commandments. He would summon the next person, Derriere, who would actually be pretty angry by the fact that she was summoned, but as soon as she would look towards Naruto's direction, she would see she would legit see Naruto like looking like Meliodas. Essentially, she would see Naruto, but she would see Meliodas in Naruto, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? And as soon as she sees that, she would just be like, okay, yep, I'm gonna not win this fight, because after this, all of the 7 deadly sins characters and the 10 commandments, the war has been over. And well, they've gotten slapped around by Meliodas quite a bit and brought back, so yeah, they don't want to mess with Meliodas. So that being said, Naruto would basically start doing that with each one of the 10 demons, and he would get to know them all. He'd kind of realize that they're not so bad. They're not evil per se, but they're not good either. They're not good or bad. They're like there's kind of a fine line between them. Some of them definitely are a little insane, but with the right person telling them what to do, they won't do any harm. So Naruto would essentially just work on a couple of things with them, and some of them would actually think that this is a Meliodas, that they could whoop him, but second they tried it, they proceeded to get what's the word I'm looking for? Mollywopped. Xeldris got mollywopped the hardest too, because he was putting up this facade that our boy Naruto did not like whatsoever. So my boy Naruto just went in and said, "Boy, sit down." Right after that, we would essentially have Naruto basically learning the rest of the Rasengan, and also learning a couple other jutsus from Jiraiya, like how to have his hair turn into spiky things and shoot out. That's one of the coolest jutsus Jiraiya uses, and I needed to teach Naruto that. So he learns that, and now we are going to be moving on to the Chunin exams. The day would arrive, and Naruto would of course basically just teleport himself at blinding speeds all the way over to the Chunin exams area. He'd basically have the wings come out his back and just land there, basically moving so fast he might as well have teleported, and he would proceed to essentially mollywop our boy Neji. I'm sorry, Neji, but your stuff about destiny and this being a tough battle is out of the question. As soon as the battle started, Naruto would basically have Galand come in, and let's just say Galand asked Neji if he truly believes in destiny, to which Neji would say yes, and it's the land of truth, man. If you've never seen the Seven Deadly Sins and you're just watching this because you're a loyal Xehther fan, I appreciate you. And in case you want to know who the Seven Deadly Sins are, I will be leaving a link down in the description explaining their powers, their abilities, and their history in case you want to know. As well as, you guys can watch the Seven Deadly Sins on Netflix, or you guys can, go on those pirated, anime websites and watch it there. Google anime. I didn't say that. Don't tell nobody I said that, alright? Don't incriminate me. Anyways, though, seriously though, he would basically proceed to whoop this man Neji, turn him to stone, and Neji would be no more. He was turned to stone. That can't be reversed. He lied in front of Galand, and it's pretty much GG if you do that. So after that, Naruto would proceed to essentially just wait for Sasuke to have his battles, to which he would basically have the same battle he had with Gaara, except while he was waiting, Naruto would go up to Temari and he would proceed to indulge himself in a little bit of studying, if you get what I'm putting down. Naruto would clap some of them Temari cheeks, and by clapping I mean, of course, he would hold her cheeks like a good boy, because he believes in Christian, he holds his Christian belief. He would never ever do anything to hurt anybody, right guys? Anyways, no, seriously though, he would basically essentially just clap Temari. Essentially, I am so weird. Anyways, yeah, he would proceed to clap Temari, and after that, he'd basically just wait for Sasuke to come. It'd be about an hour until he arrived, and Naruto would barely be finishing up. As he would walk outside, he and Temari would just be standing there, and Sasuke would arrive with no time to spare, as he would essentially go through the battle with Gaara, and everything would go as it did in canon. See, in this version, as soon as Gaara starts going crazy and he busts out of the tuning exams thing, Naruto would immediately just summon Xeldris, and Xeldris would proceed to body clap. Like he would just body, he'd body the absolute living Hell. I don't know if I can even say that word. Yeah, he'd literally, nah, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna say it. He'd body the living hell out of this man Gaara, and yeah, as soon as Sasuke tries to be like, hey, that was my battle, he would proceed to mollywop Sasuke as well, because there's no way he was about to let anybody talk to him like that. And yeah, anyways, after that happened, Naruto would basically proceed to go back where he would actually see nothing going on. See, the attack on the Hidden Leaf Village doesn't happen. Gaara left himself because he was under the influence of the One Tails, so there was never no attack on the Hidden Leaf Village. The Chunin exams proceeds as follows, and Naruto is basically declared the winner by Hiruzen. The fourth Kazekage, yeah, he's still alive, I think. Did I say he was still alive? Oh yeah, I retconned the other stuff. So yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure in part 1, I basically said that, that all that stuff had basically already happened, I think. But yeah, I'm retconning that, and I'm just going to say that, yeah, 4th Kazekage is alive, and everything basically happened dandy. Naruto never even gave Gaara that speech about, how his friends pushed him. So Gaara would sadly just not get his character development all the way. So yeah, Gaara would stay evil, but with the fact that Naruto is now actually going to be dating Temari, he is going to be putting Gaara straight. There's absolutely no way he's gonna let Temari stay with some guy who can potentially, put her down any day of the week. So Naruto's he's gonna have to put Gaara in his place, sadly. Going to have to treat the man like a lapdog. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is in terms of this. In terms of the next Hokage, Jiraiya would of course tell Naruto that they're going to be looking for Tsunade, and Naruto would say that, oh, is it the one with the the big tatas? And Jiraiya would basically smile and smirk, saying, yeah, that's the one. Naruto would say, okay, gotta get my stuff. And this is when Jiraiya would say, okay, perfect. Now they would both basically go off, and as soon as the mission starts, instead of Jiraiya leaving Naruto in the room and going off to do some research, he'd proceed to basically ask Naruto if he was down to go do some of that good old, some of that good old research with him. To which Naruto would of course say, research? Say less. Like, you don't gotta tell me twice. I'm doing this research with you whether you wanted me to or not. There was never a question, my guy. But no, seriously though, Naruto would proceed to do that research, and he would do his research well at that. So yeah, after this, Naruto would basically do research with Jiraiya, and they would go back to the hotel room where they would actually be greeted by Itachi and Kisame of the Akatsuki. To which Naruto and Jiraiya would both single-handedly clap Itachi and Kisame. Now, due to the fact that, a lot of us like Itachi and a lot of us also like Kisame, I'm going to be covering this fight just because, I can't do y'all dirty by just saying, yeah, he wins, because that's not fun. But you guys know he's going to win. Come on now. This man has the power of Meliodas, or at least a power greater to the Ten Commandments. Not like at the end of manga Meliodas, but, we'll get there when the time comes. Anyways, that being said, though, Naruto would proceed to essentially a blitz straight towards Kisame, as that's who Naruto's going to be taking on. And Jiraiya would face Itachi. As Itachi would immediately try to put Jiraiya under the Genjutsu, Naruto would summon Xeldris. And as soon as Itachi would show any intent to try to fight against Xeldris, that is when, everything would basically go down the drain. Or wait, give me a second, boys. Was it Xeldris the one who basically had the commandment where you had what's it called? Where you basically had to listen to him if you had like any ill will towards him? Or who was it? I forget. Here, let me look this up. Okay, yeah, no, that was our boy Estarossa, the one with the commandment of love. The one where basically they can't harm anybody. So yeah. Switch that up. He summons Estarossa, and you know what? Since Estarossa technically did get bodied by our boy Meliodas, or no, King, I'm just gonna say that commandment of love was, given to Xeldris, and I am right just because I don't want to be wrong, and I'm changing everything up so y'all don't roast me too hard in the comments. But I'm giving that to Xeldris, and yeah, I'm giving it to Xeldris. So yeah, Estarossa basically doesn't exist because, well, it's Mael. And, Xeldris would proceed to basically put everybody under petrification or whatever, where they basically can't do a thing about, well, anything. So after that, Itachi would not be able to do a thing, and he'd basically be rendered useless. He can't use any of his chakra, and he can't even, raise his hand to, Naruto. After this, Naruto would proceed to go towards Kisame and immediately decapitate him using the scythe that he can create out of the demon, the demon liquid stuff that he uses. I don't know what that is, the demon markings, right? He would cut off Kisame's head, and after that, they would basically grab Itachi with them and just take them along the ride, with Xeldris just basically tagging along with Naruto. Now, along the way, Xeldris would ask Naruto, and he would look at him and ask, "Hey, you, why do you have the powers of my brother?" As Naruto would look towards his direction, and he would say, "Your brother? What are you talking about?" I have these powers on my own accord." Xeldris would say, "You're wrong. Those powers that you wield are from a different world than this one. This is far different than the Britannia that I know." Naruto would look towards Xeldris and say, "What do you mean?" As Xeldris would begin to explain that your times are far behind the ones that I used to live in. As he would basically proceed to explain to Naruto everything. The timeline, Meliodas, the Bard, Elizabeth, the Demon King. Naruto would immediately start to understand what's happening, and he would ask Xeldris if he would be willing to train him. He would say he's not his brother, maybe the reincarnation or something like that, but Xeldris would then say that Meliodas is still very much alive, so he doesn't understand how any of his power could possibly be wielded by anybody else. And that is where I come in. Plot. Anyways, yeah, that's my reason. I'm not about to sit here and stress and think of some convoluted thing where you guys have to really think hard about it. No, just plot. Just it happened. Don't question it. Like, the story isn't what if Naruto had assault mode and you find out why he has assault mode. It's just what if he had it. So yeah, just focus on the fact that he's gonna have it. And yeah, that being said, Naruto would basically proceed to do a little bit of training with Xeldris as they were on their way for Tsunade. They would find Tsunade, and of course, Naruto would immediately go over there and say, "Ooh, this lady has some, she's packing." But anyways, yeah, he would do that, and yeah, I don't know what else y'all want me to say. He would He would squeeze those melons, you'd fondle the tatas or whatever. And after that, she would get very angry and she would proceed to basically punch Naruto out of the building. As Naruto would stand up and immediately Zeldris would stand in front of her as she cannot move a muscle no more. Immediately, he would knock her out, just chopping her neck, and the very next day when she wakes up sober, she would be filled in on the situation of being the Hokage. As she would, of course, immediately say no, and, well, this is when, basically, Naruto would proceed to summon Droll, the king of the giants, as he would basically use his commandment to have the intolerance that she basically shows just cause Tsunade all the pain in the world. She would try to use her 100 healings marks, but the pain would be too insufferable to the point where she would basically just fall in and just say, whatever, I'll be Hokage, just make the pain stop. And she would go over, to which they would basically go back to the village. Naruto would see Temari once again, and Temari would immediately say, come here, Naruto, to which Naruto would say, sheesh, don't mind if I do. He'd proceed to essentially go in there and, there'd be a little bit of studying being done. They'd do some math, homework, some biology. They'd learn hands-on biology, if you get what I'm putting down. And after that, they would essentially proceed to, well, just, make a little baby. So 9 months later, little baby, Naruto, Boruto would be born. And after this, Naruto would proceed to essentially go through the entirety of all the lands and destroy, single-handedly dismantle all of the Akatsuki members. He would take it upon himself to take out the leader, Obito, and he would literally just summon the rest of the 10 commandments to handle the rest of the Akatsuki members. So yeah, that's pretty much how the series ends. There's never no Eye of the Moon plan. The 3-year training thing just happens like usual, but Naruto never leaves the village. Temari ends up learning medical ninjutsu from Tsunade, and, well, Naruto just constantly has so much mana that he doesn't even need to unsummon, the 10 commandments. So they pretty much become permanent residents of the world of Naruto. And, well, they all pretty much just live in peace. There's no 4th Great Shinobi War. There's really no other content to cover. Everybody else pretty much just goes through with normal life. And the only people that really had a bad outcome from this were the people who got GG'd. Naruto would proceed to essentially dethrone the village elders, and he would proceed to essentially hold the world hostage. If you guys have seen Rei the Shinobi, that guy who makes What If Naruto's Petty, you would get the joke. But, that's another plug. But, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going to be ending the series for What If Naruto, well, had Assault Mode. There's really not too much to cover. This man Naruto is so OP, and just the 10 commandments themselves are so OP. They could probably one-shot the Akatsuki. Some of you guys may be down in the comments writing up something like, oh, the Akatsuki, they can't do this. But I don't care. I said they did. You can comment that all you want, but at the end of the day, this isn't your what if. So in case you're a little butthurt right now and you're like, the Akatsuki, they can destroy mountains. I don't care. The 10 commandments could quite literally body Meliodas, who could destroy a full continent. And last to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure none of the Akatsuki members can do that. So if one Akatsuki member is too powerful for one commandment, just chalk it up to a bunch of them gang up on them. So yeah. That's how it happens. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for in terms of What If Naruto and Meliodas' Assault Mode. If you guys want more content from me, remember, as I said in the beginning of the video, make sure to go check out my second channel, which will be linked down in the description. Not even my second channel. This is going to be our second channel. Me, Rogue X, Izukage, and Phoenix Sani will all be joining forces to bring you guys the best content on YouTube. That being said, though, guys, it has been your boy Xehther. I hope you enjoyed the What If. Maybe this isn't what you expected, but this is what you got. And it has been your boy Xehther, and I am out. Peace.